It's like 4:45.
Working? Are we live?
Oh, it's a Facebook Live.
We could not be. I'm not quite sure, honestly.
Says
I
we
think that
are.
we are on the
Here
Zoom
we
thing.
are. Okay, yes,
Here we
we're live.
are.
We are live. Let's see if there's anything for me to fix on here. I need to post. Oh, Janelle's on there. Hi, Janelle.
Hi, Janelle.
Okay. Let's see.
Gonna hang out for a few minutes, wait for everyone to pop on.
Yes. I'm on a new computer, so I'm kind of like figuring things out. Yay! If you're just popping on, maybe let us know where you're popping in from, what city you're in, what's your vibe today, how are you, like, what are you doing to charge you up? Yay, love you, Janelle. Thanks for being here. Woo! Yeah, we're so excited. Today is new moon in Virgo, and we're going to be breaking down what's been going on with this beautiful new moon. We're going to have some fun journal prompts for us, some group discussion, all the vibes. Amron, hi, love.
Hey.
Hi, Amron.
Awesome. Yeah, we're so excited. Today is new.
What happened?
Oh, it was like playing. Anyways, this is all new. I'm like trying to figure this out. Be like, hey, hi, Michelle. Yep, if you're just coming in, just pop on, drop in what state you're in, what your vibe is today, how you're feeling, what your intention is for this new moon. Would love to hear from you. Awesome. Yay. So far I'm seeing Janelle, I'm seeing Amron, seeing Michelle. Yep, if you're just popping on, just say a little hello so we know. Give us some hearts, give us some likes. We're just waiting a couple more minutes. Are you guys there? I can't hear you guys.
We are just in the midst of pulling cards. New moon. Before we open up, let's just say, holy shit.
Yay! Hi, Isabel. Janelle says, love out of Tulsa. I've spent around 6 hours this morning in meditation, so I'm buzzing and so excited for whatever comes through. Yes. Valerie's like, hey, babes. We've got Heidi from Phoenix. I love it. Amron, I'm dropping the timidness vibes when sharing my wisdom and speaking for another's up-leveling. I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Next level vibes today. This is about reorganizing your cells on a molecular level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to have some DNA activations today just through light codes, just through words. So just be ready for all of it. Woohoo!
Had a whole rack jump out.
Yay. Up
Oh,
level.
it's beautiful. What does it say?
Sound healing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, sound healing. I love
Build
that.
strength.
Build strength. Mm-hmm.
Dance.
Dance.
And sex.
Oh, Amron is so excited right now. I love this. Sex, yes, co-creation.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about creation vibes.
Talk about we're having sex with everything. Let's just remind ourselves. Awesome. Yay. Okay, so let's just take a few moments to kind of ground ourselves, tune in. And we're going to start by just taking 3 big breaths together. Using your breath, taking in that cosmic light, feel the vibes, feel it grounding you next level. And for women, because I'm seeing mainly women in the group right now, so if there are any men, come give us a shout out, let us know. Take your grounding cord from your sacral chakra, drop it into the center of the earth, and hi, Lynn. Okay, so you're going to imagine the most gorgeous, beautiful gold grounding cord from your sacral chakra, really strong and thick, dropping down into the center of the earth. If your body wants to move and you want to feel that sacred sensuality, move that in your body. Let your Kundalini channels flow, the Ida, the Pingala, the Sushumna channels. Feel the rhythms. Feel your channels, your portals opening. With every breath, feel that cosmic light, liquid light activation opening up your channels, your DNA, your RNA. Feel it awakening every cell in your body. Feel excited to be alive. Feel excited that you are in this moment. We are in this moment, this portal. New moon in Virgo, raw, the essence, sacred sensuality. We are coming in to the most sacred aspect of you, the electrical current that runs through your channels. You've taken time today to come in, take a moment to thank your body, thank your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, thank your guides for bringing you into this sacred container. And we're going to invite all of the guides from all of the Buddha lands. We have the Pure Land, we have Buddhas from the north, south, east, west. We have all dimensions of light beings gathering with us today in this September 2020, very pivotal moment for the planet. Hi, Holly. We are awakening the planet right now with our collective vibration coming together, activating codes on so many dimensions, so many layers. Just take a few more deep breaths, breathe into your core central channel powered up on the inside. Be open to receive. We are also in this space of receiving. So allow what is wanting and meant to come through for each of us, for that door, that channel, that portal to open. One deep inhale, hold the breath, and exhale. And welcome. Let us open our sacred container.
Yay!
Woohoo! Ooh, I see someone wanting to join. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Aloha from Maui. Glad you're here too. Yeah, so the Virgo new moon, right? How's everyone been doing? There's so
Fair
many
question.
different layers, right? So many different layers. It's like the aspects of, thinking about Virgo and just the way that the energies have been rolling through. It's like every little aspect, every detail, everything is kind of being looked at right now, right? Not only on our world stage, but in our individual lives. And so taking that look, the lenses that we look through, the way that we see it, the way that we're experiencing it. And so much of this new moon energy has really been like dismantling the old ways, everything that's been, into stepping into a realm where like we've never been before. It's going beyond where we've ever been. And it's so powerful. It's so fucking intense at times.
Oh yeah.
And yet it's just like, oof, to get to dance in the realms and the energies of it is, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's what? Isn't it also the super moon?
Ooh.
Right? I think it's like the equinox. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I think it's like a super moon, new moon. So it's like supercharged. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last night I was listening to Jen's 13 DNA strand activation that it's in intimacy, like our current program. And I was listening to those activation codes and I was taking a bath. And while I was taking a bath, like what I noticed was everything in my world I realized was just a mirage. Like it was just vibration. Like it wasn't me. It wasn't who I am as an essence. And from that space, you get to step away from all of your physical things and you get to remind yourself you are a powerful being. And from that powerful being space, you get to create anything and everything. And so while I was experiencing that, I realized I had been holding on to past aspects of my personality that you can't like want to move forward and also hold on to something from the past at the same time. It's like you can't ask for two things at the same time, right? You can't ask for growth and then also be afraid to change, right? It's like you have to embrace the new channel. So literally I was getting all these messages to like go through my computer and just clean out and delete all these files of things that I was keeping in case I would lose them. And so it was just symbolic of tiny energy fragments in my mind that I was like, oh, I was still holding on to that piece because I was afraid I would need it. So it's like you can't be operating from that space of need and also say you want to be in desire, right? So that's kind of what this new moon is about. It's about reorganizing, really questioning yourself, like where am I operating from the old paradigm of like need, survival, lack, and how do I get to choose to step into desire, fulfillment, wealth, prosperity, all the vibes that I get to experience all of reality.
Mm-hmm. Like I feel like it's funny because the first feeling that I had this morning, and I had an intense dream last night. I won't go too much in detail about it, but I woke up exhausted basically. And it's funny because a week ago I was super excited about the new moon. I'm like, oh my God, new moon, new start. It feels like a really powerful, and I'm so excited. I had all these expectations, right? Of like what I wanted. Oh, I get to set all these intentions. I get all these desires fulfilled. I get to plant all these seeds. And I was super, super excited. Nothing wrong with that. But as the new moon crept on, it was like things were popping up in the ways that I wasn't expecting. So I was having other emotions that weren't exciting. I was more tired. I was feeling like things were reorganizing and I felt slower. I felt a little foggy, all these things. And I was like reading all these things about new moons and I was like, I thought we were supposed to get clarity. What's happening? Like I don't get it, right? But then what was coming in is when you have, just like Sam was saying, when there's two parts of you that are conflicting, like if you have a desire to call in something, but there's a conflicting idea or belief that's trying to keep you safe that is going against that desire. Number one, it's exhausting. It takes a lot of energy. And number two, it clouds up your visuals, right? Your channel. So you don't get the clarity that you think that you're getting. So what was happening with me was that fuzziness was getting amplified because there was two parts of me that were fighting against each other. I want this, but I also, I want to feel safe. I don't want change. So that was clouding up my channels and it was creating more of a fogginess than I had wanted. But all that fogginess is there to show me that, oh, there's something there that's clogging things up. What is that? And that's how that came up in my dream last night, where it was a little gruesome. But basically, a part of me had to kill off another part of me, literally in my dream. Like I had to like witness the murder, and it was scary. But like I knew that they're both parts of me, and one part of me had to die off in order for the other to feel free. So that feels somehow related. That came out of my mouth, so I'm sure that's somehow related to someone out there.
Yeah.
Well, it's that clarity, right, though, that comes through the muck, actually.
My dream, like I had to like witness the murder, and it was scary, but like I knew that it was. We good?
Yeah. Maybe that came through again, just it's like it's the death of the self, right? It's always continual. And through getting though to that clarity, it is being with the muck. It is the little details that come up that say, hey, these are pieces, these are stories, these are aspects, and what has been going on for so long, the cords, the belief systems, the things that muck up the channels of moving forward. So all of that momentum versus the fighting, opposing, pulling forces, it gets to be like, yes, it's like the moving past, the birthing of. And we were talking about like all earlier is that there's so many ways to purge and to be cleansing, to releasing, right? There's so many ways. And oftentimes I will get so hot and I'll be sweating and, I'm like, oh God, I'm so ripe. It's just coming and pouring out. And the thing is, I've noticed that through continuing all the time, this energy moving, that recently it's been smelling sweeter. And so what I notice is that, oh my gosh, when I'm working on something, when something's moving out and it's really stuck in there, it's a super deep program, or it's a super deep energy that's been there for like, it's just deep, that like that, it stinks coming out, right? It's like coming out and it's moving and it's there. And in the presence, it may not be like, I don't feel clean and beautiful on the inside as I'm sweating, you know, out here, but it's like, it's that purging, it's transmuting the energy on, it's like happening through the sweat, it's happening through the thoughts, it's happening through our actions, our dreams, our desires. And so it's like every little detail that we might want to say like, oh fuck, like I don't want to be here, this doesn't feel good, like why is this happening, is honestly like there's so much of our own inner medicine and love and like co-creation with the universe that is like literally being like, yeah, like here, yes, it's pushing us towards the momentum of that growth. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone, right? There is that level that we have to move past. And this is so much, it feels like in every area, every realm of the life, whether it's through the relationship with the self, or in the partnership, or in the family, or in work, or whatever. It's like we're having to reevaluate everything, because the world is not going to go back to normal, nor should it. We're having to rewrite like an entire new chapter, an entire new story. And it doesn't mean that we have to just forget what happened in the past. It's actually the opposite. The beauty is the importance of remembering, being able to take the wisdom from it, being able to say, okay, what is it that feeds, that nourishes me, that is like pushing the energy and the momentum behind for this new growth, for me to move beyond what I've ever seen, what I've ever known, what I ever thought possible. And it's like every single thing in life that is happening, our traumas, our, when we're feeling contracted, our joys, everything, it's like, think about it, it calls home to the self, right? It's like when we're tired, when we're wounded, it's, oh, you go inward. When we're feeling these other things with joy, it's like that feeling of expansiveness is like, whoa, I'm on fire, you know? And it's like, but it's these like different extensions of the self. And right now in all of those realms, we're being like summoned to go be like beyond what we've ever known. And that can be scary, right?
No, I totally love that, because I think a lot of times, and I was like, and hi, Bernie. I think a lot of times we get hard on ourselves when we get triggered, right? Especially like, I know a lot of people are in the self-development or they're coaches and all these things. And it's like, oh no, I'm triggered. I'm having a negative emotion. Like, does that mean I'm slowing down my soul growth? And that's not actually the case. The thing is, the trigger is where the alchemy happens, right? Because I love that Jen got the sound card, because it means there's a sound vibration, an old sound vibration that's kind of like wanting to clear out. And you get to examine, like in the moment of the trigger, it's so uncomfortable because there's growth happening. You know, it's like something's moving out of your system. There's a thought pattern shifting out. There's an old story wanting to be digested from the system. And all of that takes energy. It takes energy to move those things out. And during this Virgo moon, you might see things like, oh, I'm reorganizing my bookshelf. I'm cleaning out things in my computer. I'm cleaning out things in my cell phone, old pictures, deleting. Whatever that transformation looks like, it could be all the different things. It could be, you know, just like Jen was saying, like you're just purge pooing. You've got like purge pooing going on, purge sweating going on, purge pee. Like it's like letting your body know, hey, like I'm so excited that you're doing that, like good job, like keep going, instead of like, you know, like judging ourselves for doing that. And yes, Bernie, yes, celebrate your triggers, because that means you're shifting. I love that. Yes, that's the evolution, right?
Absolutely. And I feel like that organizing is all organizing into your integrity, into what's integrous to you, what's aligned to you. So this is just coming from our beautiful program that we have in Soul at Intimacy, but you are your North Star. So the North Star, which is you, is what it's reorganizing around your whole universe, your whole world, right? Your whole body, every single cell in your body is rearranging itself right now in such a big way. Your thought patterns, your beliefs, everything is rearranging to a version of you that's shinier, that's brighter, that's more powerful, that's radiant, right? And I feel like that integrity is like, is it can be, what's the word? So this kind of goes into that judgment piece. But when you're trying to be in integrity with yourself and what you desire, you can be a little hard on yourself, right? And the it can get cloudy when there's a lot of other people's desires in your field, in your channels, in your energy field. So that's when first things get cloudy, and the clarity, you feel like you don't have clarity. And a lot of the times it's because you're immersed in other people's desires, emotions, or vibrations, and you're not sure what's yours. And you start doubting yourself. Wait, is this what I want? Is this, I'm not sure. Who do I listen to, right? But when you can connect in with that inner North Star, then everything else, it's almost like you just have to take the time to create space for yourself, that pause, to be like, what is it that I actually want? What is it that actually lights me up? If there were no rules, if there were no consequences, if no one got hurt, then what is it that I actually want and truly desire? What does that look like? And when you tap into that, you tap into that specific frequency, that specific vibration that comes from the focus that you put in onto that desire. And then everything else gets to rearrange around it. And I feel like this new moon is so powerful to be able to, and the new moon is a lot of the times a lot about harvesting new intentions, harvesting new seeds, right? So it's really, really nice to be able to take the time here today and open up space and clean out your space and ask yourself, what is it that I truly want? And actually this might be a good time to bring in the prompt. So I'm just going to drop it in. So we have just one journal prompt that I feel like might be good to be able to tap in with yourself and let the answers come through you, because you have all the answers, right? And so the journal prompt that we have is, what old version of you would you like to transmute and bring into your new world? So this came up for me as, what kept coming up for me was people pleasing. So this habit or pattern of people pleasing that I have, because I can sense other people's needs and desires and what lights them up, I want to go and be like, oh, let me go help you and light you up. Oh, let me go activate you. Like it excites me, so it must be a good thing, right? But I realized that in order for me to fully be able to help or serve the people around me, I have to be fully charged. I have to be in my highest light, my fullest charge, so that when my energy does go out, I'm still full, right? So the old version of me that I want to transmute is the people pleasing part of me, not poo-pooing it, just transmuting it into self-trust. Trusting myself enough to know when it's time for me to pull out and give myself the space that I need. When it's time for me to separate myself from a space and give myself that space and be like, wait, what is it that I actually want? Oh, that's what I actually want. I'm going to trust myself and how I feel about that and go for it, right? So it's almost like you get to put the people pleasing, like I get to put the people pleasing version of myself into the soil, right? And that becomes the nutrients, because there's wisdom in that, right? And that becomes the nutrients that create the plant, right? And the plant to me is that self-trust. From that version of my people pleasing, I get to create a whole new version of myself through that plant of self-trust. So it's like there's a wholeness to that, right? It's not like you have to throw something away or something has to go away and it's gone forever. It gets to be a part of you. It gets to actually fuel you into the newer version of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, just pick one thing in your world. Like, what is something that you feel like is key for you right now to alchemize, right? And all of us are here holding that space, holding that intention. So it's like, just like tune in and see. So, Momo shared her example, and like my example was, I realized I was asking to serve 22,000 people, but then a lot of my focus was more on just like a small group of people that was like in my circle, which of course I love, but I can't kind of focus on both, right? It's like I have to like reallocate my energy a little bit so that I can actually be in alignment with what I'm asking for. And sometimes these things are so subtle, like you don't realize you're putting all your focus in this one thing, and then you don't have enough energy to actually move towards the direction that you're wanting to go.
Yeah, and just wanted to touch like on the piece too, how Momo said, if you're if no one, if needs were met, right? If nobody was going to get hurt, if like, what is it that you truly desire? And I, it feels like so much of this is what it's like shifting into, because we like, our desires are meant to be met. They're meant to be fulfilled. They're a beautiful part of how it is that we're creating and what it is that we do. And the authenticity, it's really the freedom to be the self, right? And so within the freedom aspect of the self, knowing that actually my desires, my needs being met doesn't take away from anyone else. It just completely actually is the natural state of being. It's how it's supposed to be. So where is it maybe that guilt comes in a sense of a way that, well, maybe that's a little selfish of me, or maybe that's too much. What is that desire? What is that freedom, that authentic self fully expressed, getting to be and thrive and all of these things? You know, that's how it's been showing up for me. It's like rearranging and looking at everything, like, whoa, breaking down every single aspect and coming back to the place where the only thing that I can do, the best thing that I can do, is be willing to show up for myself. Because through showing up for myself, by doing the work, by saying yes, I know the way it actually does affect my being a parent, or being in a partnership, or my work, and all these things, is that you really get to thrive. You really get to thrive when you nourish the authenticity of yourself, and what is wanting to be seen and what is wanting to be met. And we are growing, evolving beings, right? It'd be unnatural to, you know, I've said it before, but it's like, oh, I don't need to eat now because I don't need to eat tomorrow because, sorry, I was like, I feel like my sitting this. I don't need to eat tomorrow because I ate yesterday. You know, I only take 3 shits a year, because it's like, it's going to be consistently, we're going to like doing the work, showing up, moving, evolving, moving toward that next like becoming of the self, is that beautiful process. And this Virgo moon is, so it's like taking, here's these aspects, all the aspects of the chords that have old stories, all the aspects that have these different things. And what is it, you know, with that prompt, like, what is it that is here that's been for so long, that it's not about just saying, well, it's not there anymore and I'm stepping into this new place. What is it that gets to move, that gets to transmute and alchemize and actually nourish the becoming of this more fullness, the becoming of like everything that you already are, but it's like that next step and that next realization, deeper and farther than you ever thought possible.
I love that like brought me into what that just popped into my head was this piece of the now, right? How Jen was saying, like, the now is where the future is created, and the future is something that doesn't actually exist. It's an illusion. All we have is the now, and this is a huge practice for me that's been coming up for me personally. I like the future trip. I think we all kind of do, but it's a like a survival mechanism. It's trying to keep you safe. If I know the future is this, or it's going to be this way, and I can control that outcome, then I feel safe. I'll survive, right? But it's an old pattern. It's an old paradigm, an old program, and it can sneak up on you in all kinds of subtle ways. But I was noticing how, for me personally, I was questioning my present moment for a future that didn't even exist. And I was like, oh, like I asked myself why I felt exhausted and all the other feelings that I was feeling this morning, and that's what popped out. It was because I was questioning this present moment for a future that was uncertain. And I think a lot of people are going through this with COVID and fires and all things that's going on around the world. There's such a layer of uncertainty that we're working through and that we're like having to sit with, right? And it's really training us to see that actually what we think is certainty is not real. It's an illusion. Anything can happen at any moment, right? our life could be over in a flash, or it could go on for the next 50 years. Who knows? We don't know. And so when I asked myself, oh, that's the reason why. And then the next question I asked myself was, well, what is it that I actually want then? What do I actually want to experience in the now? Which was, I want to be able to love and trust the present so I can keep creating my desires into the future from the now. I want to create my future now. And I want to love on it. I want to trust it. And I want to sit with it. And I want to feel happy and joyful throughout the process. And there's this level of deep trust that comes with that realization, is that, oh, I get to have all of the things now. Even if the evidence of it in the tangible 3D is not here, the feelings are here. I manifested that emotion, right? I manifested this experience within myself. And from there, everything else is inevitable. And so it's like this coming back to that present. We hear it all the time. And I've heard it multiple times too. And I'm always kind of like, I know. But really, I'm like, I feel like we're being given an opportunity to really deeply learn this on a deeper level and do it like a deeper healing of ourselves in the places that we are still playing and entertaining that old paradigm of time, right? So
I love that piece, Momo, because I just want to share a little glimmer of like the intimacy experience, like this program that me and Jen are currently running. And there's a piece on time and timelessness, right? And it's like by choosing to infuse that practice into my everyday world, it's changed so much for me, because the moment I wake up, I tell myself, oh my gosh, I have so much time. I have so much time. And from that space, you have so much more abundance, because when you're feeling like, oh my gosh, today I have so much time. I have so much time to enjoy. I have so much time to get this done, to experience this, to feel this. And when you're really like living from that world, to me, it's like things get so much more magical, because just like you said, it's about the power of the now moment. And anything that you are like hating on, not loving, finding disagreement within your current world, that's your homework assignment right now. Like that's the work to get you to that next level. And when you're asking the universe, when you're telling the universe, I'm ready to evolve, like new challenges are going to pop up, because the universe is never going to want to hurt you. So it's like, unless you're saying, just like Jen said, the strength card, unless you're really practicing that strength, like I'm choosing my inner North Star no matter what. This could be happening, that could be happening, but I'm so solid, right? That's happening. Okay, I'm getting triggered. How am I showing up here? Because it's how you're showing up in every single moment. Like that's what's creating that future aspect of you. It's the tiniest little things, the smallest thing of, oh my gosh, like, my boyfriend or my husband like didn't put his underwear away. It's like just like those tiny little things, like leaking energy. That's what's slowing down the vortex, right? Oh, like this is happening, so that means that's why I couldn't get this done. All those tiny little excuses, like that's where the energy's leaking. The external blame, you did this, that's why this is happening. It's like that's essentially saying I am not powerful, I'm not capable of holding my energy. And so the universe is going to continue to have you practice. Okay, come back. What does that feel like? What does that feel like? And sometimes it's not a fun process, but when you know that you're choosing evolution, you're going to be like, I'm going to do the workout. I'm going to keep moving through this. And I did a great job today, and I'm going to keep moving through more tomorrow.
Yeah, because the timeline of you is so unique, right? It is the now and the present moment. And to just bring the aspect of timelessness into time, right? Is if you think about our ancestry, right? So there's this element where the family stories, whether there's expectations, what parents, grandparents wanted to be, there's all of these lines, right? And we know that in science, and we know that, okay, we carry traumas from our ancestors, we carry all of these things. Within that, we often forget that we also carry the gifts and the wisdom. And so the uniqueness and the timelessness of you and who you are in this moment is really about that. There's all these gifts, and it's not based on some story of some expectation. This is what you need to be. This is how it needs to look. It's literally that you have a unique medicine. You're here to be it. And within that, the infusion of that timeless, like here's all the ancestral energy coming in, all of these gifts, all of these transmutation cycles that actually get to pour into now to say, the expectation part, the perfection stuff is bullshit. And you are here, and the way that it gets to flow through you now, the way that it's meant to, can only happen through you in this moment. That's the magic of it. That's the beauty of it. So it's like coming back to that, oh, okay, what is it that gets to keep transmuting? What is it that gets to feed? What is that wisdom, whether it's ancestral or our own experiences, that ties in, that feeds, that nourishes this like unique timeline of like who you are in this now moment, is nothing that has ever been before either. So it's potent.
I love that. So as you were expanding on that, Jen, I pulled out 3 cards earlier in this ceremony, and I was reading on it, and the first one I pulled was this one, the Soul Journey. Ooh. And I'm just going to read a quick part. It just made me laugh because it's so on point. But it says, you're ready to start. You're ready to start a new chapter. You're ready to start. A new chapter is beginning for you right now. This time, go easy on yourself. Be the courageous, loving being you are. Breathe into the present moment and allow any anxieties to drop away. Enjoy the journey and stop thinking the future will bring something better. When the future arrives, it will be now. Step out of the shadow of your past. All that matters is what you decide to do from this moment. There's more, but that piece, I was like, that's everything we've been talking about. And that was just the first card. So how to share it.
I love that you brought that piece up, because I think another aspect of this new moon is completion. It's a completion cycle. We're in September, the number 9 is completion, and we're closing up. It's not that it's not coming with us, but we're redirecting the way that we're seeing something. We're redirecting our perspective. The same thing is happening, but I realize so much more beauty in it. I see so much more love in it. What is that one? Sorry.
Visualize, as you're saying, you're going to see it in a different perspective. Visualize.
Yes, and it's about taking the time to clean up your third eye center, right? It's like you are the oracle, right? So it's like what you're seeing, you're creating. So it's like if you're still seeing someone else as needy, just ask yourself, where are you seeing that within yourself? Because all these things are being projected outward, but they're really just a reflection of yourself, because everything is you and you are everything else, right? And so it's just this continuous practice. If everything is sacred, if everything is God, creator, creation energy, how would I communicate with this person? How would I connect with this chair? Like how would I connect with these things? Like how would I love up on my space exactly as it is, if it is the sacred expressed, if it is the divine, if I am the divine? So because that is that power of now, that streamline of, you loving every single thing in your universe, the cosmos, all of the sparkly magic that's in your universe right now, loving on that, charging that up, that is that charge up of energy. That's what takes you to the next level, right? It's the tiny little things.
Right. And it's through you love up on creation, on everything in the universe, through loving on the self, right? It starts with the self. It starts with that every detail, every aspect, every part. And then that co-creation with every energy around you, it naturally happens, because when you can understand that creative force within yourself, that power, that freedom, like that is you, all of it, every place, every dark, mucky, every place, right? And so it's like through loving that, it lights up that other thing. It does clear out the third eye Samantha was talking about. It's clearing the perception, because you are creating space. You're creating space to see yourself. You're creating space to see the wholeness of who you are versus all these separate things. And it's funny though, because it feels like with the Virgo moon though, it literally is taking though every single separate piece apart, and it's going like, you know, and you're just like, ah, sometimes, and sometimes like, yes. Well, however, you know, the whole range. But within it, the way almost that like I see in the rainbow, in the spectrum, that we see it as maybe these distinct parts, but really all the particles are touching. It's this whole thing. It's not like, well, there's a red rainbow and here's an orange one, and here, you know, it's the aspects, but it's the harmony that really exists in there when you're being able to see, okay, there's different frequencies over here. And when I'm touching on this frequency and here's the levels, it's like, you know, it's manifesting through my sweat. I'm like, when I'm like processing something out and it's moved, big parts of it move, but I'm readdressing, redigesting, my sweat is actually sweeter. It's like just all these little things, but it's that full spectrum is really every little different aspect, every particle. We were all talking today about, we've all had different experiences within the past, last night, or, you know, or this morning, in the sense that we felt the literal breakdown of the atoms, you know, in our body. I was like, last night I was telling my husband, I said, oh my God, I feel neither here nor there. I'm in between. I literally feel the atoms, the molecules of air on what would be my skin. And yet I know it's my skin, but it doesn't feel separate, but I feel every individual one at the same time. And it's that interconnection, that like interwoven God light within like the self and with everything that you get to play with, you get to create like in a whole new way. And this moon is so charging that up for this.
Totally. And it's so funny because, you know, like me and Jen created intimacy. And now as we're having this conversation, I'm like, whoa, I think we got that download to prepare for this new moon. Because in intimacy, we're looking at the intention behind cleaning, the intention behind when you're driving, the intention behind every tiny little detail of creation. If you really slow down to think about it, you're like, whoa, Cosmos is brilliant, is a super genius. And every single thing has been crafted and created so beautifully for you. And it's so easy for us to take it for granted. It's so easy for us to go into, oh man, this sucks. Like, oh, this is so hard. Oh, this thing's. But really, when you slow down to think about the molecules, the atoms on the quantum level, what had to happen for these things to exist, to be created? It's like, it's all for your enjoyment. And now we get to play the game of just like decoding, releasing all the coding of our ancestors, not the positive part. This is the part where, you know, they were like, you know, seeing the struggle and then meditating on the struggle and then passing the struggle down, right? This is the game of the detangling, the unraveling of all those cords, those energetic cords, that sometimes you're like, gosh, I've just said 1 billion positive affirmations and this thing still isn't shifting. And that's when you know there's family matrices to be resolved. There's past life stuff. There's so much more. Like, the universe is so gorgeous, complex, and simple all at the same time.
I think maybe we can drop the prompt one more time and then we can just do a closing.
Yeah.
Okay, so to remind you guys all of the prompt that we had, that we personally are going to be journaling on too, and it started already for us, is what old version of you would you like to transmute and bring into your new world? Yeah.
And since I'm the Sagittarius and I'm like, oh, so for the overachievers, if anybody wants to journal on what new perspectives are you ready for, how do you want to see new beauty in your world? Like, just begin to notice, like, I want to see this as beautiful. I want to see this as beautiful. So just because that is Virgo, right? She's the goddess. She makes things clean, purified, gorgeous. So just kind of make a list of, okay, where would I love to infuse more love and attention in my world? How can I bring more organization, more beauty, more, just kind of tune into those feelings, and you'll kind of notice the universe supporting you in that project, because that's where the planets are right now. So
sorry,
yay.
One last thing. So if anyone is in a space of struggle, I'm just getting a pop in. This is for anyone. There must be someone on here that's feeling that like, well, I'm in struggle. I can't even feel that right now, right? But if you are in a place of struggle, what helps for me is name the struggle, write it down, right? Like you can just write a list. I'm struggling with self-love. I'm struggling with this aspect of myself. Just write down your struggles, and then right from that space, it's easier to see what it is that you want. What is it that you want to learn from those struggles? What is it you want to take away from those struggles? You may not be there yet, but what is it that you want? You still get to ask for it, right? And then, everything else we talked about. But if you are in that space, you can start there too. It doesn't matter where you are. You can start from anywhere.
I love that. It's like you write the thought, and then you just go 1 degree higher. How can you feel just a little tiny bit better? How can you feel just a tiny bit better? Like, you don't need to, it doesn't need to be from like $100 to $1 million. It's like, it's just like, oh, what if I stretched like this and this feels good? It's like, find those little increments for yourself.
Right.
Yay.
Oh, one more thing. I can feel Mason. So she is sending love too. She was unable to make today. She's dealing with fires all around her and stuff like that. So, but I can feel her, and I know, and she has been sending her love and intent this whole time. So
yes, thank you for saying that. I was thinking about it in the beginning. So love you. We love you, Mason. Send her powerful, positive prayers. Clean air for the Northwest. Okay, let's just take some long, deep breaths. Let's get back into our bodies. Let's feel all of our guides, all of our light being guides, working on our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, activating what DNA codes are ripe and ready for the next evolution. I'm seeing that it may not just be today, so just drink lots of water. Notice what happens over the next few days. Some of these light beings will be working on you while you're sleeping. There's multiple dimensions and layers that things will be shifting and transforming for you. They're all celebrating you, like saying, like, thank you for being here. Like, this is so much bigger than you think, because there's things happening in those multi dimensions and layers that we may not be able to like comprehend, but to just relax and receive. And we're going to bring the most gorgeous gold sparkly light in through our own channels. And with that grounding cord, just releasing anything that's not serving the system, anything that's ripe and ready to transmute. I'm also seeing micro adjustments for the crown chakra, tuning into your divine North Star, what's going to guide you to your personal truth. So this is kind of like dismantling, dissolving agendas and just coming back to your personal truth. And we'll just take 3 long, deep breaths together. Beautiful rainbow light breaths, cosmic cleansing breaths. Feel that cosmic light nourishing all of your cells. Closing off this circle with the sacred seal. Yay, sending so much love to each and every one that has participated in co-creating this magic. May this beauty be transmitted to all beings throughout the planet, ones who are ready to receive, who are ready for this activation. And we just want to say, we see you. We see you. We love you.
So much love.
so much love. Happy new moon.
Happy
Happy
new moon,
everyone.
Woo! Celebration vibes. Thank you so much. We love all of you. Have a gorgeous rest of the evening.